Hello, my name's Sean Alderson. I'm the New South Wales Asset Finance State Manager for the Commonwealth Bank, and today I'm going to give you a brief demonstration on the Commonwealth Bank Asset Finance Broker Portal. Before I commence this demonstration, please remember that access to the Alpha Portal is subject to the Commonwealth Bank's Business Intermediary Nominee Accreditation requirements and full conditions of use. The online portal is designed to make it faster and easier for you to provide your customers with the asset finance they need. You can apply online for all customer entity types and borrowing structures. There's a streamlined data capture process. You can save time with repeat use of existing customer details, get faster credit decisions, and online access to payout quotes. Now, access to the portal is via our dedicated broker website, www.commbankbrokers.com.au. When you log on to there, you'll see the the Alpha Portal log on. Click that button and it will ask you for your username and password. So as a broker, once you've logged in and hit this landing page, you'll see at the bottom of the screen all your current applications that you have in train with the Commonwealth Bank. Whilst the workflow status on mine are all showing as quote, they update in real time for you. So on your screen, you'll see, you could see ones that are quote. You should see application received, you could see app assessment commenced, you could see approved broker to document, etc., etc. And they'll all be loaded. If you have a number of applications and they're not showing on that first screen, you can hit next or you can search by the AAU number. The other thing I'd like you to note on this page is the workflow status. If you select that, there's a drop-down list that comes up. One of those is live agreement. If you've introduced a transaction to the Commonwealth Bank for one of your clients and you were the introducing broker and they're seeking a payout figure, you can select live agreement. You can search by the AAU number. That contract will show down the bottom of the screen. If you select that contract, it will take you into the portal, and one of the options on the left-hand side will be payout. If you select that payout option, the system will allow you to create a payout letter for your customer in a PDF format, which you can either print off and hand to them, or you can email across to your customer. But for today's demonstration, we're doing an application, so we'd start with new quote. Once you select new quote, you come into the Alpha quoting tool, and you'll see as we go through this that you can quote on any application type, any asset type, any structure. So we'll tick off with and just go down the screen. So product type, as you'll see, there are the various product types available via the broker channel. We'll just select equipment loan. Asset group lists the various asset groups that we'll do. We'll do medical and healthcare. Asset type then is the subgroup under medical and healthcare, which lists all the assets we will do under that. We'll select ultrasound there. For description, we'll just do ultrasound at this point. You can do new used, year of manufacturer, given we've done a new one, we'll do 2022. Supplier type, and again, the system allows you to do any type of supplier that you're looking at. In this case, given we're doing a new asset, we'll do a recognised supplier. There's a tick box there for energy efficient equipment facility. That wouldn't be applicable in this case, but if you're doing a motor vehicle that's an electric or a hybrid, or you're doing certain other assets that are classed as energy efficient, which are on our website, you would select that box, and when the assessing officer is looking at the transaction, they can approve it as an energy efficient finance, and you'll get a discount on your rate. Purchase price, so we'll chuck in the purchase price on this one. You can do deposit, motor vehicle costs if you're doing a vehicle. Documentation fee can be financed or not financed. In this instance, we'll select not financed, and work on the basis that you've spoken to your BDM and they've given you a discount on the doc fee. You can overwrite that doc fee. GST, ITC recoupment, if you want to select that, if your customer's looking to pay the GST back in, say, month 3 or 4, you can select that, put the amount in, the delay in months, so 3 months or 4 months, and that will structure that payment into your client's quote. Repayment structure, you can do irregular, seasonal. Your start date, term, you can override that obviously. We'll do 60 months in this instance. You can do payments in advance or arrears. You can do monthly, quarterly, semi-annually or annually. Balloon, you can select via percentage or via dollars. We'll do via dollars and we'll do 30%. Brokerage the same, you can select via percentage or via dollars. We'll do 2%. And CBA rate. If you leave that rate blank and do evaluate and save, it will bring up the carded rate for you on that transaction. But in this case, work on the basis you've spoken to your BDM and he's given you a rate of 6.25. We'd select that. Once you've completed all the fields, you hit Evaluate, and it brings up a summary of the quote for you, and then hit Save. And you'll note once we've hit Save, it brings up an AAU number at the top of that top of the screen there. If you progress this quote through to application stage, then documentation, and then settlement, that AAU number will follow that contract all the way through, and that will become your client's agreement number once the transaction is settled. Next, we go down to application type. So we'll select application type. Now there are two options there. You can go non-ABCD, and it brings another drop-down list for you, and they're the various non-ABCD application pathways. For today's demonstration, we're going to select ABCD there, and again, it gives you all the pathways under our ABCD policy framework. So we're going to select today existing CommBank customer. So this customer has existing commercial facilities with the bank. Select that. This thing gives you the transaction type and the various criteria for that policy, so you can read through that and just ensure that your transaction that you're looking at meets that criteria. And then there are a list of qualifying criteria questions that you need to answer. And you need to go through and answer those honestly, because if you select no on any of those, that means it's not going to meet that pathway, and the transaction won't be able to proceed. The system won't allow you to go through. But if the answer is yes to each of those questions, you know that that transaction will fit the ABCD existing customer pathway. So I'm going to select yes on each of those. Now on each page, as you finish it, you should hit Evaluate and Save. That's just in case the system drops out for any reason, or you take a phone call and the system times you out. You won't lose any data that you've input. You'll start again from exactly the same spot. So I'd suggest you always do that when proceeding through the portal. So we'll hit Evaluate, we'll hit Save, and we'll go to the next one, which is setting up your customer. Now for today's demonstration, we're going to do a company acting in capacity as trustee for a trust with an individual guarantor. So with your company structure in Alpha, you need to put it in reverse order to as you want it to appear on the documents. So in this case, given we're doing a company as trustee for a trust, we put the trust in first, and that will become your customer, and then we'll put the company in second, and that will become your account holder. So I'm going to select non-individual because we're doing the trust. Now in a live environment, you'll get the best results if you search via ABN or ACN, as that'll give you a very short grouping of potential clients. But for today's demonstration, given we're in a test environment, I'm going to search by name. And hit search. And what that will do is search our existing database. So if the customer has had any CommBank Asset Finance facilities previously, it'll bring them up in this drop-down list down the bottom here. Should your customer not be showing there, you can hit Search Equifax, and the portal will go away. It will search Equifax. It only takes 20 to 30 seconds, and it will bring back any public data for that entity. So you don't have to fill in all the fields. It will bring across a majority of them. You just need to then go through and complete the remaining fields. But our customer has come up, so I'm going to select AFS Test Trust. And as you'll see, it's brought across all that data. Given they're an existing customer, it's also brought the customer over as our account holder, so it's filled that in. You would then just do a quick eye check down through the fields and just make sure nothing's changed, such as work number, phone, mobile number, etc., and do that on both. Okay, and we've missed. The system does provide error messages if you've missed a field. So on this field, I've missed income and expenditure declaration required. So if you scroll down, you'll see that one there. Click that and click yes. And it will then bring up the field you need to complete, which is what the income available for debt servicing for the trust and the monthly existing proposed loan commitments. So we're going to put in 5,000 a month available, or 50,000 a month available, and we'll put 40,000 in commitments. Then scroll up and do AFS Test Proprietary Limited, and you need to answer the same question there for that one. So we're going to say no because we've input the trust information from the trust financials. So we now want to add party because we want to add the individual guarantor. So we're looking to add an individual, and you can then search for that customer if that customer has had anything with the bank before, asset finance with the bank before. And hit search. So in this case, this doctor has been in the system previously, so we can select that. If not, you can hit Create New, and it will take you to the screen where you input all the data for it. But given he's been here before, we can select him. It asks to assign the relationship, so we assign them as a guarantor individual. And again, we just go through and just check all the data to ensure it's correct, and there have been no changes since last time this applicant has transacted with us. And again, you'll need to check the income and expenditure one, and we'll select no again because we're utilising the trust income. Now that we have our structure correct, again, we're completing that screen, so we'll go evaluate, and we'll go save. So once we've completed that, we now have the quote in there. We have the application type in there, and we know that it meets the criteria because we ticked yes on each of those, and we have the customer structure involved in there. We can then finalise this application. So you would then go to attachments, and here you choose file, and you would select anything you need to upload on this. Could be the SMEG form, it could be the financials for the trust, it could be anything that you need to attach there. So you would hit choose file, select that file from your computer system, put a description in for what it is, so 2022 financials, hit upload, and it will upload those and attach them to the system. And there's one down the bottom here, notes as well. You select notes. This is a free text field, so you can type in whatever you want. If there's something there you want the assessing officer to look at, you would type it in there. So we'll just type in maximum balloon available. And hit add. And you'll see it timestamps it, who put it in, and what you're asking the assessing officer to look at. So once you've done all of that, there will be a button under here on the right-hand side that will be Submit Application. I'd always suggest first going to the summary page and just having a look and make sure all your information is correct before you submit the application. Just go through and do that. But then, assuming it's all correct, you would hit Submit Application for decision. It will bring up a privacy declaration that you need to read through and just tick and confirm that you've covered that privacy requirement. As soon as you do that, the application will be submitted and it will go into our assessing officer's queues for them to look at. Now, assuming we've done all that, an assessing officer has looked at the transaction, they've contacted you and said the application has been approved, you would then go back into your main page that we looked at the start there, and on the bottom there would be search by that AOU number, and it would hopefully show up approved broker to doc. You would select that contract and it would take you back into the portal here, and where you would go now is pre-documentation. You select pre-documentation, you'll see this is where we put in the identifiers for the asset, the address where the goods are going to be located, supplier details, and any further description of the asset. So if you've got more description, you would type that in. Once you've completed all those fields, again you hit on the right hand side, evaluate and save. As soon as you've done that, you can then go to the documentation tab, and those documents will be available in one PDF for you to download for execution by your customer. So again, now you've downloaded those documents, you've printed them off, you've gone out and executed them with your client, and you're now looking to settle the transaction. Again, you'd search for that AAU on the main page, select it, and go back into the portal, and you would then just go into attachments. At this point, you choose File, and you would select all the documents you need to attach in order for the transaction to be settled. So it would be the documents you're executing, could be the invoice and the broker invoice, could be the settlement checklist, and it could be evidence of BDM rate approval. So you'd attach all those files, you'd put a description in there, and you'd hit upload. As soon as you upload those, that is then pushed through to our fulfillments team, and they'll commence working on the settlement for your transaction and funding for that for you and your customer. And that ends our demonstration today of the Asset Finance Broker Portal. I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much.